I was 4 years old, and my 18-month-old sister was killed in front of my mama and I. She was crushed by a vehicle. And I grew up terrified of a world where someone could be killed in front of you. So by the time I was 7, they diagnosed me with ulcers. And by my teen years, I was cutting my wrists up. And by the time I was 18, 19, I was diagnosed with agoraphobia, which is terror of being in places you can't escape from. Right. So I felt broken right to the core. And I think I've always really struggled with I think we all do, not being enough at all. Yeah. And I think then when you have kids and you think, oh goodness, am I burdening them with my baggage and my own brokenness? And then 2 years ago, I was in the midst of heart failure in the hospital, and in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep, going through all of the ways I have been so broken and not been enough for my own kids. And it really sent me on a season of really feeling like I was in a deep pit of despair that I couldn't get myself out of. Just really overwhelmed with my own brokenness and not enoughness. Yeah. And I was at a gathering of women, and a woman came up to me and she said, "Can I just tell you, the Lord has really given me an image of you being in a deep pit of despair and rejection, and He's reaching down to pull you up." And my own faith background really doesn't, that's new to come with, and I received it. And the next morning, another woman came up to me and she said, "Last night I went to go to bed, and the Lord just said, you know what? I want you to draw a picture of Ann in a pit and me pulling her out." Wow. And the woman beside me, who was with me during the women's gathering, she said, "Wow, that's the same word that other woman gave you last night." And she'd written at the top of this page, she'd drawn this picture from Psalms 40, and she'd written in verses 1 to 3 that you were in a pit of destruction, and I pulled you out of the pit. And as we're looking at this, the woman on the stage who only spoke French and was worshiping in French stopped, and she said, "I have a word from the Lord right now," and recited Psalms 41 to 3. And I just felt like, but that is the hound of heaven.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
Who is relentless in saying, you may feel like you're down in a pit and you are so broken and you are not enough, but I am coming after you. Yeah. And because of Jesus, I am pulling you out of that pit. That's right. And I think we have to, when we're in that pit, and I struggled so hard to get myself out of that pit, I think sometimes we need to sit in a space and let others speak truth to us. To hear a word of truth from our sisters, and to realize that in our own brokenness, we can speak truth to another sister who feels broken like we've been broken. That Jesus has redeemed me, and He is redeeming you too. His love is a redemptive, restoring love. So much of my dysfunction came from a denial of brokenness, that I was burying it somehow, that I was masking it, that I was hiding it, and that festered into all kinds of hypocrisy. It festered into a dysfunction of lack of authenticity, and just my life in so many ways was a facade. And when we bury brokenness, we're saying that God can't redeem this brokenness, that this is beyond redemption. And I think if we really believe that God is who He says He is, that we have saturated ourselves in Scripture, that we've opened up the pages of His Word and believe in His promises, we can peel off all of the masks. We can even tenderly peel back some scabs we've allowed to grow over some wounds, and bring it to the light of day. And set it before Jesus and some trusted advisors, some people you really trust with brokenness, and be really honest about the wounds, about the pain, about sinfulness, things that are hard to speak out loud. And once we take off the mask, we come face to face with Jesus.
Hi everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe today and you'll never miss a new upload. Thanks for being a part of our Better Together community.